Welcome in. It's Brad, College SportsCast, and we are presented by the Fanboys.
Let's go. Yeah, it's still paused on your end. Here in a second, you might be ready to go.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? All right. I'm back, and it is March Madness, guys.
March Madness.
March Madness is going on. We are College SportsCast. I have Jason Harrison with me. We're excited about March Madness. It's been going on all afternoon, and there's been some good ones, and we're trying to keep up. Looks like John Roberts is joining us. He is probably watching the Auburn finish right now as we speak. I've got it on, so I'm sure John Roberts is watching the Auburn game, and looks like maybe they're going to pull this game out. And they've led the game pretty much the entire game, and I was fighting, of course, but Auburn's kind of controlled the game pretty good. But so, hey, John.
His audio is not. He don't have his audio on just yet.
All right.
There we
go. Sorry.
There we go.
I knew what it was. I knew what it was. Yeah.
Well, so we're all a little preoccupied because we're watching games and everything else is going on. So, yeah. So I do want to get to this. So if you're joining us, we had talked about Landrum Roberts being on with us from JOX 94.5. And apparently today he's having some computer issues. And he asked if we could reschedule. So
he did.
No problem.
So,
keep going.
It's March Madness, and to be honest with you, I found out this news about 40 minutes ago, something like that.
Apparently he busy at like 8 something this morning, and I didn't see it until
I didn't see it till like 7:20. Okay, which is it's 8 o'clock, a little after 8 on my time.
Yeah, and I sent I think I sent it at 4 something to you,
right?
5 something.
Yeah,
but I looked
and I was busy and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Ooh. But so, anyways, if you are joining us in the last minute, I've threw together a March Madness show for you guys at the bottom of the screen. We usually do a game day pick'em show on Thursday nights anyway. So we're doing game day March Madness edition. That's what we're doing here tonight. And I've kind of threw that together for everybody. March Madness is in full swing, guys.
Yep.
Starting off the bat, we've already had upsets and some last few seconds shoters.
I called one. I called one.
Yeah.
I called one.
Yeah.
I said Princeton.
You said that the differences in style were going to be the
You know what's so strange to me, guys, about this?
What's so strange?
It's so strange to me that the teams that you kind of get known for either, like Princeton's known for possibly knocking off these big teams in the NCAA tournament. They've done it before. They've done it in the 80s. They've done it in the 90s. They're still doing it in today's game. Virginia, 3 of the last 4 times they've been in the tournament, Virginia has been knocked out in the first round as a top 4 seed.
And the other time they double dribbled. They did.
They won the title.
No, they double dribbled.
In 2019, they won the title,
They
but
double,
in
they
18,
double dribbled on their way there.
18, 21, and now 23.
Yeah.
3 of the last 4 times that they've been in the tournament, they've been knocked out in the first round.
Yeah.
And it's so strange. Arizona has been knocked out in the first or second round several times. And it's just so strange to me how something kind of catches on and you get known for that. And it just seems to happen over and over.
Yeah.
Do you guys pick up on that sometimes? Like there's just certain teams that get easily knocked out.
See, my
Tennessee tonight. I'm going to put them on Tennessee tonight.
Yeah,
they
but
better come to play.
Yeah, but I put Tennessee winning game 1, but then I don't think I had them winning game 2.
I don't think
because of the whole Tennessee doesn't really do well, and Rick Barnes doesn't do really well.
Tennessee gets knocked out a lot, and they better be on notice tonight. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I think.
Be on notice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, so we're going to start out. Today started with West Virginia versus Maryland. That was the first game on TV. Today was West Virginia versus Maryland. West Virginia jumped out ahead about 12 points or something early on, 16-4, something like that. And West Virginia looked like they were going to, kind of cruise through. Maryland fought back. Maryland actually had a 2-point halftime lead. I watched part of this game. It went back and forth at the beginning of the second half. West Virginia went ahead again. Maryland fought back, and it wound up being a last-second shot by West Virginia that was missed.
By the way, if y'all were watching – sorry. Never mind. Keep going. Sorry.
And Maryland won by 67-65. Did you guys catch any of this game, the Maryland-West Virginia game?
Any of that. I actually – watch this, Brad. I was moving around so much – I actually forgot that March Madness starts early at 11:12.
Come on, Jason. You played in March Madness, damn it.
But I had so much going on early today that I saw a tweet and somebody said, way to go, West Virginia.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
well, West Virginia started out looking great, and they played good. But Maryland fought back, and West Virginia had a shot. Kind of a 3-2, from little past half court heave and missed it. And it was 67-65. Maryland advances to the second round.
I will say this, Brad. I will say this. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I will say this. In the last show, I said, hey, and sometimes I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Remember, I told you guys, both of you guys are going to laugh when I say this. I said, hey, watch for Texas Southern. They have a team that can possibly,
yes, you did say that,
and they forgot to show up to the game.
They did. They did.
And I think
exactly.
Hey, Florida Dixon is a real good team. It's a real good team. Coming against Purdue, I was like, hey, Styles. So, like we said, I think John said it too. You only have to win one game. You have to be good one game.
So we're going to get to the next game, Virginia and Furman, guys. Whoa. This was the first big upset of the day, and I've already mentioned that this is the third time in their last 4 tourney appearances they've been knocked out in the first round, and Virginia got the rebound. With a 2-point lead, they got a defensive rebound. There was about 10 seconds on the clock. The point guard backs up to the corner. They trap him. And instead, they had a timeout. Instead of calling a timeout, instead of throwing it to the teammate who was under their basket wide open because they were trapping him, he leans over and heaves it
to half court.
Furman picks it off. passes it up to the shooter, and the guy steps up and knocks down a 3-point jump shot. 2.4 seconds left.
Listen.
68-67, and Virginia is stunned again.
Listen, Brad. That shot will be the beginning of the end of when they all do, the final commercial for ManFront.
Yeah, the commercial. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So now I'm going to be the coach. This is a coaching blunder. There's no way if I see my point guard trapped, I'm calling a timeout. I am calling a timeout.
Why did he even back up to the corner to begin with? The point guard backed up to the corner.
Go ahead, John, because I know you want to say something.
John, you're always saying Virginia double dribbled.
Yeah,
they actually damn near double. This was worse than double.
They double dribbled.
Like
this was worse.
Double blunder.
That was
the double blunder right here. But the not calling the timeout and then the heave ho double blunder.
I was listening.
It's no wonder the double blunder.
I was listening to Charles Barkley. You cannot make that pass no matter what. You have to know.
Jason, you're a point guard. Come on, man.
I thought people at Virginia were smart. Thought that was a smart school.
Yeah, listen.
The real Navy in Auburn.
For a few years. Man, he's like a junior. He's not a freshman.
But still, though, you as a coach, you have to call that timeout. You have to call it. And watch this. I know what's next after Furman in Virginia. I can imagine what is next because now these coaches, to me, you're getting paid too much money. Now I'm not putting on the kids. I'm putting on the coaches. What I say is the last 3 minutes of a ball game is when the coach takes over. Okay,
and that's true. He is on the sideline.
It's always the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, right?
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. The first 5 minutes.
He sees his point guard back up to the corner and gets trapped.
Timeout.
Yeah.
Timeout. I'm not going home with any timeouts in my pocket because they're not giving me any rewards on anything. I am calling a timeout.
Well, they did. They had a timeout.
So you see what I'm saying? And said not only that, and I can almost fathom that the next game you
up to
is Princeton versus Arizona. Both coaches did not call a timeout. You have to call a timeout in those situations. These are still kids. At the end of the day, they're still kids. They're still kids. Sometimes they make bonehead decisions. You know that.
Yes, sir.
They make bonehead decisions. And so if you're on the contract and you're making tons of money, they pay you to make correct decisions. And in that situation, it did not happen. It did not happen.
No, it did not. And I'm going to move on to the next game of the day. But these are things. I mean, this is not Virginia's first time being in that situation. This is their third time in 4 appearances.
You're so right.
Nearly the same thing. They get beat in the last second.
You're so right.
Nearly the same thing has happened every time.
You're so right.
It defines the program, doesn't it?
Define.
Yeah, man. I mean, yep, absolutely. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning. Utah State and Missouri played today. I thought Missouri looked really good today.
They led. You said it, Brad. You said it. You said it.
Yeah. I've been on Missouri for a little while now, and I've been touting them. I think they are. I actually wrote an article and put Missouri as one of my team, dark horse teams or whatever. And I've been saying Missouri. I thought they looked good today. Kobe Brown played great. Hodge played great, and they kind of controlled this game. Now, it was a 10 or 12-point game. It's not like they killed Utah State. Utah State has a great team. But, I mean, they controlled the game. They led and won by 10 or 12, something like that in this game. And I thought they looked good. And then the game under that is Kansas-Howard. I mean, Kansas-Howard, I mean, it's a 116. They kind of just, overwhelmed Howard a little bit, and I think they won by like 26 or 28 or, something like that. So those two games went as I expected. Utah State, I'm sure the Aggies fans are a little upset with, how they performed, I guess, and didn't win. So you got some Missouri, some Mountain West teams out there that didn't look too good today.
Missouri kind of surprised me. I thought that the stage might be too big for them. But like I said, I give credit. Brad, you called it. You said Missouri is going to show up and play. The Kansas and Howard game, I was never, and I think John can agree with me, I was never worried about Kansas showing up to play in their first round game.
Right.
The team, I think that we were both worried about, and I know his alum, Auburn, because you never know which unless
look, you're looking for that scoring drought, that 5-minute scoring drought. That's what you're looking for.
We'll get to the Auburn stuff. I got them on here too. That game just finished up, but you're right. I mean, I was talking about off the top. There is certain teams that you just look for, and it kind of seems to always go that way. You just get known for that.
See, Auburn's not necessarily known for that. This Auburn team is what scares me. Versus, it's not Auburn in general. It's this Auburn team. I
agree with that.
I act like an alum. I act like an alum, like John. Like I because personally, I know Coach Flanagan. I know Al Flanagan.
Right.
Those are my guys. I know Marquise Daniels.
Right.
Those are my personal guys. Like I really know that. And so I'm always pulling for my guys.
Right.
And I can only imagine what John thinks when he watched Auburn. I'm like, and I cussed at the TV like I went to Ole Miss. And I went and like I said, I support my guys, and it's like, oh my goodness. That's all I say is, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my viewing habits watching a game, I think I want to say it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I kind of got to a point, and I'm talking about all Auburn, not just basketball or whatever, where I'm not so much the super fan that reacts to every single play, that reacts to every single whatever. I can sit there and just watch it, and at the same time kind of go,
no doubt.
But I just don't have the I don't have like the crazy energy.
You're not a fanatic.
I mean, look, I'm a fan, but the deal is that I have worked inside of being in a front office situation, or being a credentialed media member, and where there's the unwritten rule, no cheering in the press box, no stuff like that. So I mean, it is one of those where I have to be able to control my emotions in a game.
Absolutely.
And so and I have carried that over to how I watch it, because I mean, I think what ended up happening ultimately was that, look, my wife just was like, you can't allow that game to affect how you are.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Because you can't be pissed off. You can't be pissed off after the game. I mean, you have to be. You have to be.
I still ain't all the way
dad.
there.
You got to be dad.
I can probably.
And you got to be dad. And you got to be.
Hey, the day must go on.
Right. The day goes on, and so it was just one of those where
sometimes I'm pretty upset by it.
I'm not there. I'm not there.
What's fun is when somebody is that kind of person where they're just that they allow the emotions to go?
Oh yeah.
Just watch
you can
me
mess
start
with them
going.
a little bit. Yeah, you can
Poke.
mess with them a little bit.
Poke the bear. I mean, Brad, I see you got Bama and AMCC.
Yep, I got Bama on here. They played Texas A&M Corpus Christi today. What's interesting about this game, Bama won by 20, and 21, something like that. And what's interesting about this game is Brandon Miller did not score.
And you know what?
Zero.
I can answer that, Brad. I can answer that.
Zero.
He has too much going on mentally. And I was glad that the other guys who were not named
picked him up and stuff. I mean, and it was a 116. Bama's the overall seed. So, I mean, they won by plus 20. It was 21 or something like that. But
yeah, okay.
What was really interesting to me was that Brandon Miller didn't score, not a single point.
What is what was Javon Quinterly's line?
I don't know. I would have to look it up. I don't really know. But Quinterly and Sears and Clowney, I think, all played well.
I think Quinterly is one of those. When he's good, he's really good.
Yeah.
When he's bad, he's really bad, and he can't fight his way out of it.
Right.
And recently, he has had some really good games. The SEC tournament, he was really good in.
Right.
This game right here, he probably had to have been really good. I was at work all day, so I didn't have a good chance to sit down and
I
watch
started watching some of these games, and then later in the afternoon, I got busy doing some work and doing stuff myself, and I got busy this afternoon and evening. So some of these games I did not watch all of. I watched some of the early games, but I didn't catch a whole lot of this Bama game myself either.
Well, I mean, I didn't catch anything until I got home, and I got home maybe by the second media timeout during the Auburn game. So, I mean, I missed, a quarter of the game, essentially.
Right.
So
now I did catch the end of this next game, San Diego State versus College of Charleston.
Okay.
And College of Charleston, San Diego State is another one of those teams. They had been beaten 4 straight times, 4 straight appearances in the NCAA tournament. I was talking about those, once a trend starts happening, it just seems to fall in place. Well, San Diego State had been beaten 4 straight times in the NCAA, and they snapped the streak today, a 5 versus a 12, and they pulled it out at the end, 63-57. I thought College of Charleston played really well and fought hard, but they hit a few free throws and a shot down the stretch and pulled it out 63-57 and maybe changed that trend of them, getting beat 4 straight times. In 4 straight appearances.
I picked this as an upset. I thought College of Charleston would.
Well, and San Diego State has been known to get bounced. So,
I'm not surprised. So, kudos to San Diego State for, like you said, getting off the schneid. They
bounced it. Hopefully they got that monkey off their back or whatever you want to call it.
You're right.
Yeah. And they pulled out a game 63-57. I did catch the end of that game. I didn't watch the entire game, but I did catch the end of that one. We'll get brackets, but that is a game that, could have been Charleston versus Furman for the Sweet 16 if Charleston had won. So,
wow.
The next one is the biggest upset of the day. Arizona led the entire game, guys. Princeton did not take the lead until the final minute final few seconds. I seen a highlight of it. I was busy. I watched I seen a little bit of the first half of the game, but Princeton is known for keeping the scores low, for keeping the game close. And here's the deal. If you're one of these bigger, better teams, higher seeding, lower seeding teams or whatever, if you don't push the game out and have a little breathing room, they always play tight and kind of stupid towards the end. And the small teams have nothing to lose, and they're just out there. This is their moment, and they're loose, and they're throwing it up, and the big teams, they play tight, and that's what happened to Arizona.
Like their butthole is this big.
Yeah, I mean they do. They play tight. That's what happens. I think that's what happened to Arizona. Princeton. Princeton played loose, and they got these guards that are just throwing it up and hitting shots, and they win 59-55, and was behind the entire game, knocks off number 2 seed Arizona in the first round. It's only the 11th time that a 2 seed has been knocked out. But coincidentally, it's the 3rd straight year in a row. Kentucky was a 2 seed last year and got knocked out. And the year before that, there was another one. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head right now, but it was a 2 seed the year before. They got knocked out.
Well, I mean, Auburn got knocked out, but they got knocked out in the 2nd round, not the 1st round, as a 2 seed.
Well, this is only the 11th time that a 2 seed has beat a 15.
Yeah,
since 85. Since 85.
I can honestly say that, like we said, the styles make the game, and like we said, the end of the game, Princeton made the plays that needed to be made.
And Arizona played tight and like they had something to lose, and they did. You know what I mean? And that's
they did. They did. And I was kind of shocked. And this is another case in which that you're supposed to call a timeout. Hey, either we're gonna go for 3 or we're gonna go for 2. Like, you're making too much money to put the game in the kids' hands. You have to go for 2 and put the pressure on
both of these, the Virginia game and this. I mean, the coach could have called the timeout. Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, it's one of those things that, come on now, like, the kids can get you so far. I used to say, hey, give me to the 3-minute mark, let me coach and win, or the last 5 minutes, let me coach and win. If you get me to the 5-minute mark, I can help you win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man,
but you got to be there. Yeah, you got to be in the game. You got to be there.
You got to be there.
Yep.
I see Duke on. I see Duke and or you said Arkansas.
Yeah. The Arkansas-Illinois game was next in line, I think, today.
That shocked me.
And Arkansas handled this game from the beginning and was ahead 6, 8, 10, 12 points pretty much the entire game. I think they won by 10, 73-63, something like that.
Yeah.
But Arkansas played well, looked good, and kind of handled this game from the beginning.
Arkansas was very aggressive. Illinois never made shots. And see, that's – and being a player and a coach, I understand the depth perception, of being in the arena. It is hard to shoot. It is very, very, very hard if you're not locked in and concentrating. Because when you look through that backboard and you see fans and you don't see a wall or something or a backdrop, it is very, very hard. And Illinois shot themselves in the foot on all the threes that they missed. And Arkansas, which doesn't shoot a lot of threes, they capitalized. They got into the paint, they drew fouls, they made free throws, and they really controlled the game from the get-go.
They kind of controlled this game from the very beginning, I thought. Yeah. That's how I saw. And, so Missouri kind of did the same thing against Utah State, and then Arkansas is doing it. And then here in a second, we'll get to the Auburn and Iowa game, and I thought Auburn kind of did that as well in their game. So that's 3 SEC teams that, I'll get to that in a second. But that's where we're headed now is the Iowa-Auburn game. And I thought Auburn kind of done that and kind of jumped out to a 6, 8, 10, 12-point lead and kind of handled this game and kept it at a distance.
Yeah, they started out, they got the lead, and it's like they had their hand out and they were just holding Iowa at arm's length.
At that spot. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, you're going to stay this far out. And the biggest thing too is that they limited their shooters from taking open shots. And their shooters missed the shots that they took because they had, I think Murray, it took him until late in the second half or mid second half before he hit a three. He missed a lot of shots after the first one. He scored on the first offensive possession, but then after that, he was held in check until late in the game when I think everybody started hitting everything, because then there was a barrage of threes from all sorts of.
I mean, Iowa got it close. I think they cut it to 4 with about 3 minutes to go, something like that.
Right. I mean, Auburn had gotten up to a 20-point lead or a 17, 18-point lead, and then Iowa cut it down, and then Auburn put it back up to 10, and then Iowa cut it down. And, I mean, like I said, they Auburn really, when Iowa got within arm's reach, and again, Auburn had their arm out. When Iowa got within arm's reach, Auburn hit a three or did something to kind of push them back. And that's exactly, I mean, that's how that whole game went the entire time. Now, now they get to go play number 1 Houston, or, unless something miracle.
Likely. Yeah.
Likely number 1
that's
Houston.
likely. Right. Right.
Maybe I should go run down there and go cheer on the other team.
It's in Birmingham. You should go.
It's right down the road.
Yeah. You should go. I'm just saying.
It's like 10 minutes down the road. You should go run.
All right, so we'll get to Duke and Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts had a great season. They had a great team.
You were hyping them up.
Listen, I really thought that Duke was a bad matchup for him. I had said that in some tweets and some stuff. Yeah. Unfortunately, had they played, I don't know, San Diego State as a 5 seed instead of being matched up with Duke,
Oral Roberts was no match for Duke. Duke is one of the hottest teams in the country. Coming in on a 9-game win streak is really tough to put out that fire. Oral Roberts, Cinderella team. I appreciate everything they've done, undefeated in conference, but they're no match for Duke. No match.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, I think it was a bad matchup on the 5 seed. You know what I'm saying? Like any other 5 seed, just about besides Duke. I mean, the style of play that Duke does and the athleticism that they have, I just think it was a little, just tough for Oral Roberts. But and in the game, I mean, Duke handled it. I didn't see the final score, but it was 20 plus, 25 plus.
Yeah, I
mean, when it starts out like 15 or 13, 15 to nothing, that's usually bad.
Yeah,
that's not good.
I mean, yeah, and they were ahead. I know they were ahead 70-48, and then it went up from there. And it was so I didn't keep up with the exact score of the game and everything. Right. Before I move in any further, Jason has to go to another meeting, so he's going to jump off. I didn't want him to just disappear on the screen and everybody be like, "Hey, what happened?"
Gone.
Anyway,
I'll see you guys. I'll take you guys Sunday.
All right, man, Jason. We'll catch you on Sunday.
Okay.
All right, so Jason had to jump off. I just wanted to bring that up, so when he jumps off the screen, everybody's like, "Hey, what happened to him?" But anyway, so Duke basically manhandled Oral Roberts. It is one that I kind of expected. And Duke's been playing well, and I think they have a chance to make a Final Four. I really do, just by the way they've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
They won the tournament. They had, that's about 10 of the last 11 games that they've won, something like that. Maybe 11 out of 12 now. I can't remember after the tournament, ACC tournament, but they've won a bunch and been playing well. So now we're going to get to some games that's going on right now. Northwestern looks like they are about to put away Boise State.
Turn. Yeah, they're up 12 with 39 seconds.
They're up. To go. Yeah. It's about 30 seconds to go. They're up 10 or 12. It looks like Northwestern is about to put away Boise State. If they finish this off, I just want to say the Mountain West, before San Diego State won today, all 4 Mountain West teams played today. Before San Diego State, the Mountain West had lost 11 straight postseason games. San Diego State beat Charleston by 6, 63-57. And now Boise State looks like they're fixing to get knocked out by Northwestern. They will only be 1-3 today. So San Diego State's going to be the only team left out of the Mountain West. And I'd been touting the Mountain West all year. I thought they looked good out there, but they sure didn't show up. Nevada got pounded. Utah State just never could get over the hump with Missouri. And now Boise State was ahead in the first half earlier in this game. But Northwestern's pretty much controlled this game in the second half. And Northwestern has a 9-point lead now with 22 and a half seconds to go, going to the free throw line. So that's where this game is. Colgate in Texas is currently going on. There's 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in this game. Texas is only up 14. It's a 15 versus a 2. Colgate's got a really good team. I think Jason the other night, that's another one of those teams that Jason had mentioned about Colgate, and possibly being a sleeper team. And those 15-2s are usually won by those 15 teams. Like I said, it's the Princeton game earlier was only the 11th time that it ever happened. So, but it does look like Texas is going to hold on and win that game. They are up looks like 16 now with the 3 minutes to go. And final, Northwestern just beat Boise State 75-67. It just ended.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what.
Brad, how's your bracket?
Well, you want to get to the bracket stuff? Okay.
I mean, I got that on there. I got that on here for us to do and get to the brackets. Of course, I lost Arizona. Okay, I'm not gonna. I definitely lost Arizona. I didn't have that. I thought Princeton could keep it close. How far did you have Arizona going?
I had them getting beat in the Sweet 16.
In the Sweet 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had them winning 2 games.
Gotcha. Who did you have them losing to?
So I'm looking at. I actually have 2 or 3 brackets, but the main one that I'm.
You got to be confident with one. You got to be confident.
Well, so I have one in the CBS. I have one in the ESPN. So I've done one a little different, but.
You did it differently. Why would you do that? That's not having confidence at all.
So in the one that I'm talking about in the ESPN bracket,
yes,
I did predict Furman to beat Virginia.
Okay.
I got Maryland and Alabama right.
Okay.
I missed I actually picked upsets in both of those games. I missed the Charleston-San Diego State game.
Mm-hmm.
I got Missouri. I missed Princeton.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got Auburn.
Yeah. So far, I've missed 3.
I got Kansas and I got Arkansas, and I just got Northwestern.
Yeah, I missed 3.
So
I missed the 2 big upsets.
Oh yeah, I got Duke too. So Duke was down there.
So I've the 2 big upsets. Now, had I created a second bracket, the Furman game I would have picked, because I was really close to picking it in this one, and then I didn't, and then I never created a second.
I actually picked both upsets in that 12-13 bracket, and I got one right and missed one. So
yeah. But yeah, the Furman one, I almost picked that. That was one that I was really close to picking. Obviously, the Virginia one, I didn't really think that was I didn't think that was going to happen, and so both of those just killed that part of the bracket.
Well, so how far did you have Arizona?
I had them go to the Final Four. I had them losing to Marquette. I had them losing to Marquette in the Final Four.
I almost picked Missouri to beat Arizona.
Yeah, I had Marquette beating Arizona.
And now that bracket's open for Missouri. I wished I would have, because I almost picked it.
Right. And I had Arizona knocking off Virginia in the Elite Eight. So I had Virginia going a little further too. So that's why I said those two just absolutely destroyed that region.
If you had them going further, that does kind of kill you.
That region is done. It's dead, because I had like I said, I had those two going a little further than I really wanted them to.
That is true. They're both in the same region, aren't they?
Yeah, they're both in the same region. I had a meeting in the Elite Eight, and not happening.
That's not good.
No, it didn't. No.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then I also picked Boise over Northwestern, so that was my other one. But I had that one losing, relatively quickly after that. So, but yeah, that was
all right. So the rest of tonight's action, you have Houston and Northern Kentucky that just started. It's 4-2.
Right.
And then you have Tennessee versus Louisiana, a 4-13. That's one of those seed lines, that could be an upset. It's 11-10 to start out with right now, according to my ESPN app.
Yeah.
It just started. They're about 5 minutes into the game, it looks like. And then the Texas Colgate game just went final, 81-61. Texas won. And then there's 2 more games tonight. Penn State, 10 seed versus Texas A&M, 7 seed is tonight. And another 2-15 is tonight, and that's UCLA versus UNCA, Asheville, North Carolina, Asheville. And that's the late game tonight that won't be over until about midnight.
I'm going to break away from the madness and go right into to baseball here. Vanderbilt just 10-run ruled Ole Miss, and I think they forgot that the 10-run rule exists in conference play, and it definitely exists. It's a new rule change this year that the 10-run rule happens after the 7th inning, or if you're up 10 in the 7th inning or at the end of the 7th inning, then the ball game's over. Yeah. And they had runners on first and third and got a base hit up the middle. And normally when you have a walk-off hit, everybody's running out of the dugout and they're chasing the guy that got the hit, And I think they scored and then they went, we won.
Yeah.
We won.
It's 10 runs. We got it.
All right. And then they all ran out there, and I was like, I'm pretty certain the guy that hit it, if he knew that they won with the hit, he's standing out kind of halfway between first and second, and he's going, where is everybody? I'm supposed to be getting chased. And instead, but Florida did what I thought Florida would do. They beat Alabama 3-0. So Vanderbilt just won 12-2 with the 10-run rule, and then NC State and Virginia, and I believe Virginia's got a 2-1 lead. I can't see the here. You know what? I can easily change the channel here, and I can make it big. Okay, 2-1. Virginia on top of NC State, and it looks like it's the bottom of the ninth inning with 1 out. So NC State is to their last 2 outs to try and tie this thing up and send it to extra. There's nobody on base. So that is the baseball update. As every so often, I mean, each week there's at least 1 or 2 conference series that start on Thursday night. Mainly that's for TV, so that you can have it on the SEC network or the ACC network. Or whatever.
Is strange though that the very first weekend and baseball comes out and does that on the night that March Madness.
Well, I mean, it's every Thursday. There's going to be a series that starts on Thursday. It just so happens that week 1 for the SEC. For conference play falls on the week of
but
on
that's
the weekend of
a little strange because 90% of the world is watching, the sports world is watching March Madness.
Right. And I'm that 10% that will actually flip back and forth between everything. But I watched. Obviously I was watching Auburn. If Auburn were playing baseball as well, I mean, that would have been really tough because I couldn't watch Auburn basketball on any sort of ESPN.
Well, they will on Saturday, but I don't know if it'll be the same time.
But the thing is that in order for me to do the multiple screens, it's all got to be off the ESPN app. Well, none of March Madness is ESPN. NIT tournament, ESPN, but not.
This is true because I usually watch ESPN too.
Right. Yeah. So I can watch multiple baseball games using this ESPN app, but then I'll have to have my computer or something like that doing the March Madness. I mean, I'm going to have to, or I'm going to have to do it the other way around. But I mean, like I said, I just wanted to kind of break in and do a baseball update while we were in the middle of our March Madness.
Absolutely, man.
Stuff. So
we're going to get to baseball. It's just right after this March Madness stuff, that'll be our sole thing that we do for a while is baseball, and we'll follow the end of the season and the conference play and follow the regions and super regions and all that very closely.
Yep.
And
it'll end at the end of June. So Omaha starts Father's Day
mid-June.
It's Father's Day weekend. That's when Omaha kicks off. So they start either Friday or Saturday of Father's Day weekend is the first games of Omaha. So that's when. So that it's the following week. Virginia just put away NC State for game 1. So, but it's about a 10-day tournament. So, it'll be over at the end of June.
Well, we're going to get to tomorrow's games and kind of just go over some of them. Of course, UK and Providence play tomorrow night. That's where I am excited about seeing UK.
Really?
I'm hoping is not one of those teams that created a trend last year that I was talking about earlier when I opened up the show. It seems like these teams, kind of start a trend and just get known for that, and it just happens somehow.
It's only Providence that this could happen.
Listen,
yeah, see what I did there?
Bryce Hopkins is on Providence. Bryce Hopkins transferred from Kentucky. I love the dude. He's a great player. I've pulled for him all year long. I really have, but I'm not tomorrow night. Okay, Bryce, we got to beat you tomorrow night. I'm sorry, but I hope that we send you home, and it's only because you're playing Kentucky. Any other time, I'd be pulling for you, but I just got to say, I am a fan of Bryce Hopkins, who transferred to Providence and had a great year, about 17 points and about 8 rebounds a game, I think, and had a great year there. He's a sophomore, and I wish him well. I just don't wish him well tomorrow night.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I do. Do well until tomorrow, and then it's –
right. And then after that, I hope your career is great. I really do. So that's the big game. Of course, there'll be Marquette's a 2 seed that plays tomorrow night. NC State Creighton, I think, is going to be a good game tomorrow night.
Yep.
I'll run through real quick. Okay. Kent State versus Indiana, 13-4.
Okay.
Interesting to watch for a possible upset. You know what I mean? Like
I picked the upset. I went with Kent State.
Okay. Another game that, as far as possible upsets to watch, 5-12 Drake versus Miami.
Okay.
I think would be a possible upset game tomorrow night.
Right.
4-13 UConn versus Iona. I really think that UConn will sort of handle this game, handle business in this game. But you never know with Rick Pitino and his guys. They've won 10 or 12 straight. He's got a great team in the MAAC, but we'll see on that game. Creighton, North Carolina State is a 6-11 game. So is the Providence UK game that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Those are 5 seeds apart. Those are considered upsets. Anything 5 seeds or more is considered an upset in the NCAA tournament.
I don't know. I think I would consider Auburn an upset
over Iowa.
I just love that it was a virtual home game.
Yeah, it was
for the 9 seed.
And then of course you got the shockers. I mean, you got Marquette playing Vermont tomorrow night. Vermont has got a really good team. It's a 2-15. You just never know about those games. You got Baylor playing UC Santa Barbara, a 3-14 tomorrow night. Xavier and Kennesaw State is a 3-14 tomorrow night. And, these are good, solid teams. And if you don't come ready to play and you get tight towards the end of the game and you let them hang around, in March Madness, if you let a team hang around, 9 times out of 10, it comes back to bite you.
Yep. Now, did you say the VCU St. Mary's?
The VCU?
Yeah, St. Mary's game tomorrow night?
Yes, VCU St. Mary's is another game, that could possibly be an upset tomorrow night. You're right.
Yep.
That's a 5-12 matchup as well.
That's right. Auburn's Final Four run, they almost were the 5-12 upset because they were the 5 that year, and they nearly got upset by New Mexico. They almost got. Don't
normally do that well in the NCAA tournament. They really, what I mean? Like it's.
But they made the run as a 5. Well, I mean, you got to think about it. Like you're the 5. If you win the 12, then you're playing a
4-13. the winner of 4-13.
Right. So you're playing the 4, right? And then if you win that, then you're playing the 2 or the 3. No,
you play the 1. The 4-5 matches up with the 1.
Right.
The 2, the 3-6 matches up with the
2. Yeah. And then then you face the other one after that,
Yeah.
And that was the deal. I mean, Auburn had to run through once they beat the 12, they had to beat the 4, the 3, the 2,
the 4,
basically
1, the
4, 1, and 2.
The 2 or 3, whichever one comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and of course that was the 3 blue bloods that they went through. Then they beat Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky in those 3 right there. Just knocked out all 3 of them. So, but what I'm saying is beating Kansas, Kentucky, and in North Carolina in the same year and in the same
it doesn't
stretch,
happen very often. You're not going to do that very often.
I mean, that's nuts, especially when you're a program like Auburn, who's not,
right,
known for doing this.
I fully agree with you there. That is not going to happen very often.
That's when you go, woo.
Yeah.
So
that is not going to happen very often to go through teams like that in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and I mean
it just doesn't happen very often.
It's just a special run. That's all it was.
All right, so trying to look ahead to some of Saturday's matchups from the games today that have finished. Yep. We're going to have number 1 Alabama versus number 8 Maryland on Saturday. I don't know the times of these games yet. They don't come out till the games are final today, like later tonight. But you're going to have number 1 Alabama versus number 8 Maryland.
Yep.
You're going to have number 5 San Diego State versus number 13 Furman.
Yep.
Who beat Virginia today.
Yes.
That will be the 2 games in the top half of the South region.
Right.
And then you will have number 7 Missouri versus number 15 Princeton. Instead of Arizona, you're going to have number 7 Missouri versus number 15 Princeton on Saturday. That'll be another matchup to look for.
Right.
Duke will play the winner of this Tennessee-Louisiana Raging Cajun game that's going on right now.
Yep.
According to what I've got here, it says 19-13 with 8 minutes and 43 seconds to go.
Well, apparently it's not updated.
I'm looking at the brackets, so I'm not. This may not be fully updated.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm looking at the brackets too, but I still have 11-10 with 14:45. That's why I was like,
I'm not actually looking. I'm looking at a bracket, so I don't know if this is updated or not.
Yeah.
And that is in the East region. That's all we know right now in the East region. In the West region on Saturday, we'll have number 1 Kansas versus number 8 Arkansas. I think that is an intriguing game. Arkansas has the players and the talent to give Kansas a run for their money in this game.
Correct.
In my opinion.
Yes.
Now, do I think Kansas is good enough to win it? Of course I do. I picked Kansas, but I want to give everybody a little fair warning. Arkansas could knock off Kansas in this game. I think it's a game to watch.
And then I'd be royally effed if that happened.
I just think it's a game to watch. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
Arkansas's got, if they had Brazil, I'm telling you, man, but they don't. But they did get Nick Smith Jr. back. Yeah. And they got Ricky Council, and I mean they're playing well. Devontae Davis played good today. And Arkansas's got a pretty good team. So I think they could. Arkansas's been up and down, so you never know who you're going to get with Arkansas.
Right.
Arkansas may get beat by 20, but if they play like they're capable of, they could have a chance to make some noise in this game, I think.
Correct.
And then now Northwestern will play the winner of UCLA versus North Carolina Asheville on Saturday.
Yep.
That is also in the West. And then in the Midwest, Auburn will play the winner of the Houston Northern Kentucky game, which I fully expect it to be Houston. It does look like the score is 18-16 Northern Kentucky right now, is according to what I got on this bracket.
Yeah, and according to the TV in which I'm watching, that I can confirm 18-16 is what's happening right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And now it's 18-18.
Okay. And then Texas will play the winner of Texas A&M Penn State on Saturday. That'll be your games on Saturday. So we'll be back on Sunday, and we'll do some more March Madness stuff and some NCAA tournament, and we'll talk what happened over the weekend and some of the upsets and stuff like that. But we'll be on Sunday at 3:00 Central Time, and we'll do some more March Madness kind of weekend wrap up and just enjoy March Madness with you guys.
That's right. That's right.
But that's kind of the action that is going on, and like I said, there's two games going on now, and then there'll be two games a little bit later.
Right.
So, and hopefully, at some point here, we'll get Landrum Roberts back on for you guys.
Yeah.
And we'll get him rescheduled. I'm not exactly sure that if you're watching this, that probably still says Landrum Roberts for the host of JOX morning show and stuff like that. But that's because he was supposed to be on. I didn't catch all this until about 40 minutes before we were on air. And I just kind of threw this show together as far as talking about March Madness because, I mean, everybody in the country just about is interested in watching March Madness and waits for it. And today was, not really the opening day. Really, it is the opening day. Most fans still consider it to be the.
I consider it the opening day. The play-in games, while they are, great, you're not getting the 10 games or whatever it is, each day for the first 4 days, and then next week, while it's still awesome and entertaining because it's way less games, per day, it just doesn't have that flair like where your whole day is dealing with this, because then it all kind of gets where it's push down to nighttime or whatever. So you don't have all those games that are playing during the day where like people could take off work on Thursday or Friday to sit and watch all this. And,
next Thursday and Friday the games won't start till about 6 o'clock, 5, maybe 5:40 or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, yeah. Whereas today they all started at 11 a.m. Central.
Yeah.
So it was, you make a whole day of it because it goes from 11 a.m. Central to, beyond 11 p.m., right around midnight Central.
Yeah.
So
this opening weekend, it's that way. You get games, basically from 11 till midnight, and that's Central time.
13 hours. 13 hours of basketball, just nonstop basketball. You've got the scores that are up in the upper right or the top part of the screen.
Since they've started it, like where TBS is involved and TNT's involved and True TV's involved, you can literally flip and watch every game.
Correct. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I go with I've got Hulu, and I go. They do the most recent, and they show like your last 8 channels or whatever that you've been to. So what I'll do is I will go and hit all 4 of them, go into each one of them, go all 4 of them. That way they're all right there on the recent, so that, when I want to flip back and forth, I just go recent, bam. Yeah. And then just go right through it.
And you can go back and forth, and you can keep up with them all.
Right.
John's got a setup where you can put them on 4 different screens.
No,
and
I
all
can't
that
do
kind
that.
of stuff.
I can't do that outside of the ESPN app. It has to be the ESPN app. Yeah, which does not do March Madness, and therefore
doesn't do March Madness. Yeah,
right. So it's only when I'm watching the ESPN app. So football weekends, I've got 4 games going. Baseball, when it's baseball, everything on ESPN. For college baseball, then I'll have 4 games going. But the app does not work for the other things. Now I know that you could probably pull up some form of command center, some of the digitals, streaming services and stuff like that. You have like some sort of command center. You can probably watch multiple games at one time. Yeah.
Yeah, you can, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on a day like today, it would be so much fun to be a part of Prize Picks and pick some daily fantasy sports and do some stuff like this and to pick some players and whether or not they're going to score X amount of points or have an X amount of assists or rebounds or whatever, and have a little fun and follow March Madness. You can do this for the rest of March. We just ask that when you go to prizepicks.com that you use the code CSCAST, and we can double your money up to $100. So you can go $50 for initial deposit and get $100 to play with, or you can do $100 and get $200 to play with. And you're also helping out College SportsCast when you do that. And you can do all the March Madness fun and college basketball games that you want to do and pick players and stats and just have some fun with it. I think $5 is your minimum play. And again, 100% deposit match up to $100. So all you have to do is use code CSCAST for College SportsCast, and you'll be helping yourself out, and you'll be helping us, and you're going to have some March Madness fun.
Yes, sir.
Like I'm fixing to join all this because it's just going to be so much fun. Broom tonight had a great game. Who would have picked? So I know he had 5+ blocks. I know. So I'm sure that you could have picked Johnny Broom tonight, and I'm almost positive that it wouldn't have been 5 or more or 6 blocks. So all you had to do is pick Johnny Broom for more on 3 blocks or 2.5 blocks or whatever it was.
Right.
And you win. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
So, speaking of Johnny Broom, he played pretty good tonight.
He did.
Right?
Yep. Had a couple blocks back to back.
Wendell Green played good too, which that's kind of the catalyst for Auburn, if you ask me. Green's got to play well.
Green's got to make smart decisions.
He's got to play well for Auburn to have a chance.
Yeah.
Same thing. If they match up with Houston on Saturday, Green's going to have to play well.
Yep.
So here at College SportsCast, we are part of the DeFanboys. And for DeFanboys this year, the 2023 nonprofit organization that we are asking each and every one to give to is Home for Our Troops. Home for Our Troops is been around for 20 plus years, and they help out injured and wounded veterans. And how they help them out is they help build homes for them to rebuild their lives after they come home. And they've been doing this, like I said, for 20 plus years. For every dollar that you give to them, 90 cents of that dollar goes towards helping rebuild their lives by building them homes. And they will do that for them anywhere in the country. If they're from Virginia and want to move to Texas, they will build them a house in Texas. So we ask that you go to www.hfot USA.org to give.
Yep.
All right. I just trying to get that off the screen and make a little pause there for you guys. And again, it's March Madness. We got the games going on, and we are excited to be here and be involved in this and do this for you guys. We hope y'all enjoy it. We will be back on Sunday. We normally do our Sunday show as a week wrap-up show. And what better time to do a week wrap-up show than to do it for March Madness? So
there you go.
We will kind of close out the weekend. By the end of the day on Sunday, we will know the Sweet 16.
Yep.
It goes that fast.
It's nuts how it gets that fast. It goes that fast right there.
It goes that fast. There's that many games, and it goes that fast. By the end of the day Sunday, we will know the Sweet 16. Who makes it? Who goes home early? We already know Virginia and Arizona State are going home first round. I'm sure there'll be some more upsets tonight, maybe tomorrow. There'll definitely be some by Sunday by the time we come back on the air. I guarantee you that there will be at least 2, 3, 4 more upsets to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can definitely
I can
assure you of that.
There's definitely going to be a few upsets to talk about. I just hope it's not Kentucky that's on the bad end of an upset. If Kentucky knocks off Kansas State or something like that, then maybe it'd be a good one. But that would be Sunday if that happens. And I don't know. It's not really an upset, I don't think. It'd be a 3-6.
Yeah.
Would you consider that an upset? A 3-6 in the second round? That's not really an upset, is it?
I mean, it can be a 6, 6 winning. I mean, look, the dividing line, like really the top 4 seeds, if you're beat by anybody other than a top 4 seed, I feel like that's an upset. To me, if you're in the top 4 seeds and you get knocked out by anybody other than a top 4 seed, you've been upset. And I can understand that.
A 4 would have to get to the Sweet 16 to be knocked out by a 1.
Right.
Correct. 5 would have to get to the Sweet 16 to be knocked out by
a 1.
A 1. Or, they could be knocked out in the second round by a 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying if you're a top 4 seed and you get beat by a lower seed than outside the top 4, then I believe that's an upset. Just because if you're in the top 16, you should make the Sweet 16. And then if
you're right about that. Because if you're in the top 4, you are part of the top 16 teams in college basketball.
You should make the Sweet 16 if you're in the top 4. And then if an upset happens before you play, even if you get into the Sweet 16 and there's an upset that comes ahead of you, so then you're playing a higher seeded team, then, again, it's an upset if you lose to that team.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's where I'll draw the line there. Like if like I said, I mean, you talk about the 5 seeds in between in order to be an upset, and while I agree with
that's
you,
the way March Madness
on a lot of things, yeah, but on a lot of
they view it
seeded stuff, once you get outside the top 4, but if you're a top 4 and you get beat by somebody outside the top 4, that is also an upset to me.
I got you.
So I agree with what kind of how they view it in March Madness, but I'm just kind of throwing in an extra as well.
Yeah.
So like Auburn getting beat in the second round last year, upset because they were a 2 and they got beat by a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So upset.
Right. So on the bottom of the screen, I've got it going. I just want to pass along that we are now part of WSBN TV. It's the World Sports Broadcasting Network, and we are on channel 30 for them. And catch College SportsCast on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. That is when we are on. I will put that on the screen as well. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central and Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Central. And again, you can catch us on WSBN TV channel 30. You can also catch us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch even. So you can catch us on all of that. But I do want to pass along that we are proud to be on WSBN TV, the World Sports Broadcasting Network. It's pretty great to be on. So, and we're
awesome.
also part of the fanboys,
yep.
And we've got that on the screen, the whole show. So yeah, right there where he's at, on his side. yeah. All right, guys. So again, we're going to wrap this up. We are going to be back on Sunday at 3 p.m. We'll be doing our week wrap up, March Madness wrap up, weekend wrap up. Like I said, we will pretty much know the Sweet 16 teams. We'll be on at 3. There'll be a few games left to play, and we'll kind of, we'll know. By the time we're done, we'll probably know about 13 of the 16 teams, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll know the majority of what is to come the following week.
Right. And and we'll kind of wrap all this up. We'll talk about all the big wins, all the upsets, and the teams that make the upsets and hit the big shots and that kind of stuff. And we look forward to bringing that to you on Sunday at 3. Again, we'll be on WSBN TV. And I almost said it backwards.
Yeah, don't do that.
I almost said it backwards. But anyways.
I almost called you dyslexic.
Sometimes I feel like I am. Sometimes I do. All right, guys, y'all have a great night. Enjoy the rest of this March Madness as we will. I know I'm going to kind of kick back and watch a couple of games. We'll see how this goes. The Tennessee-Louisiana game is interesting to me, so we'll see. I'm hoping that I picked Tennessee, so we'll see.
Yeah, I picked Tennessee to win this week, win today, but maybe not necessarily survive Saturday.
Yeah, I picked Duke to win over them. So,
That's right.
All right. Y'all have a good night. We will see you on Sunday.